Hello, AO. How are you guys? All right, let's jump right to it. I'm Joel Grandara. I'm one of the mentors here, and I am based in Miami. I'm outside. It's 84, 82 degrees, something like that this evening, and I am ready to start answering some questions, or the best I can. Got a bunch here. I also wrote up some notes of some thoughts I've had lately, and I want to share those with you. And occasionally planes will fly by. I apologize about that noise. Also, I got a brand new phone. I just got it yesterday, and I noticed the screen goes to black on me pretty quickly if I don't touch it. So bear with me while I fight through that. Okay, first question is from Elise Cotton. Her question is it better to be completely transparent with your team and your employees on company-generated revenues? If it is good to share revenue info, are you openly sharing expenses as well, or is it best to leave the team out of that conversation entirely? What are some of your best practices for motivating employees? Are having constant spiffs in place? What moves the needle? Or quarterly or annual bonuses, the best? Okay, so what moves the needle? What type of bonuses? So I'll tell you what I do. I don't know what other people do, and I think it all goes with what comes natural to you, what your members and your company. Hey Brad, how are you? Okay, so let me answer the question here. So what I do is I have a couple of key people in my company, and I give them and some of those people cross over into different businesses that I own because they help support them. So I give them a percentage of profits. So I have a right-hand person. He makes six figures, has a great job, great benefits, and he also gets 2% of everything that I make. And so obviously he owns that P&L. He gets to see everything on it. He knows how much we sell. He knows what all our expenses. He has full access into our accounting, and so he has to see that. I have another person who gets 1% of our profits, and that person, ironically, is never asked to see the financials. We just cut him a check. But if that person wanted to see them, we would absolutely share that with them. And to be honest with you, at any level in our business, we would share these financials, but we never get asked, and we're not just divulging, hey, here's what we make, and we're not big on sit down long meetings and sharing every single thing about it. But if we did have more key players, we would do that. For those of you who already know this, I automate quite a bit of our business, and I outsource a lot of it. So those people don't have to see our financials. We do not share our financials with outside people, even if they're part of our team, but outsourced, we do not share that. Only in-house people do we share that with. All right. So let's see what else you asked. Okay, and what we do is we do those quarterly. We don't do quarterly. We do every 6 months. If it was too often, we used to pay out monthly, and that was way too much keeping up and bookkeeping. And then we did once a year, and that didn't seem like enough. So we do it twice a year. So we'll close the books for June 30th in early July, cut a check then. Same thing at the end of December. We'll cut a check in January for that percentage. And by the way, we do not give a bonus based on top line sales. I don't care about top line sales. It means zero to me. All I care is about bottom line profitability. I want to encourage my staff to turn off the lights on their way out. That's just an example. That's a small example. I'm not as worried about the light bill as I am about not overspending on Google ads or Facebook ads that aren't making money, and that could turn into a $100,000 spend real easily. So I want people taking a look at those things and trying to catch big mistakes so we can get better. All right, I hope at least that helped. That's the way we do it. You can always contact me directly on Facebook for more. Let's see. Question is from Kimberly Vincent. They asked, I have an opportunity to begin collaborating with a corporate wellness company from Nova Scotia. They focus on ergonomics, nutrition, mental health, and want to add the massage therapy component. We, that's Pam, and the owner and I, have very like mindsets and vision. In a video call last week, she explained her vision of us eventually joining our companies together, growing, and finally exiting. I've heard AkaShawnThomas talk about, it says here, hinging. I don't know if you mean hinging your success to other people or companies. I also know there's strength in numbers. That said, I'm not ready to go jumping into a marriage with her just yet. One step at a time. I'm excited about the opportunity to grow my company, but I'm not naive to the challenges of partnering businesses. I'm interested in your thoughts, comments, experiences. Well, this is very easy, Kimberly. Nobody said you have to get married, and nobody says you can't date for a year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, whatever's convenient to you. Join forces in a joint venture or some kind of loose thing where you can back out and neither of you is reliant on the other one permanently, and just feel it out. You'll know when the time's right. There's no reason to rush a partnership. And just because you're dating doesn't mean you have to get married. People have dated for years and then realize, okay, this isn't for us, and they go their own separate ways. My biggest recommendation is don't burn bridges. I never like burning bridges at all, and I see people do that all the time. Just go steadily and easily in that, and do it as long as it's productive for both of you. And in every transaction, make sure that it is productive for both of you. Right? It's not about me, me, me. It's about us, and we're going to grow this, and it's going to be fair for both of us, and we're both going to add value to this. The more value you add to that potential partner or quasi-partner in a joint venture, the more, hopefully, will be returned to you. So don't worry. You're stressing about something that hasn't even happened. You're stressing about, oh, do we have to become real partners and form a partnership yet? You guys haven't even danced the first dance yet. You're not even dating. So just go steadily. You're not getting married anytime soon. And keep in mind, it's up to you. You're the one deciding this whole thing. You're driving it. You're in charge of your actions, your decisions. Nobody's going to put a gun to your head. So you do it when you're ready. Okay, Aiden, the question is, how do you visualize, i.e. create a visual representation of the areas of your business? Something you can look at, see, and share around your business systems, departments, or whatever. I find with my e-commerce online business, there are so many scattered things. It's a lot of imagination required, and I can't get clarity by looking at a map of my business from the business department's organization to stuff. Okay, a lot of going on there. But Aiden, figure out what works for you. Everyone is different. I never believe that everyone should do things the way I've done them, the way Sean's done them, the way any of them, we all have what works for us. So what works for you? You're already saying it's visual. Why don't you start with, I have a big whiteboard in my office. And when I go into my office and I want to write stuff out, I like writing it on this big board. Even in our warehouse, we have a little board. But I like writing on a wall and seeing it. You can always take a snapshot of it before you erase it. What else? Just like there's software out there to make an org chart in your organization, right? You draw the CEO here, the COO, the different people in the business. There's software that you can draw things out. You can hire someone on Upwork to kind of visualize your thoughts. But start maybe with a board. Write it up on a board. Write it on a piece of paper. See what you need to see, and then go from there. Whether it's software related that you can get software to draw all this up for you, or just on a piece of paper. There's no rules. You do whatever works for you, and bounce it off of a few people. I've never figured out everything on my own. I've always shared it with somebody and kind of get that person's feedback, this one, this one, this one. And if you show enough people, someone's going to say, oh, I know somebody who can help you with that. Talk to so-and-so, and then you talk to so-and-so. That's how you get conversations started and improve. But you definitely want to learn from as many people as you can, and you do that by sharing what you're doing. So let's see, not too many people here, but I already said hi to Brad, Shelby, Jonathan, Jean-Baptiste is here. Hey guys, thanks for joining me. Okay, what else we got? Edward Morgan, an e-commerce question. If couriers stop operating due to coronavirus, what area of e-commerce business would you put most focus on if you weren't able to ship out orders? Well, I've actually gone through this exercise in our company this week, or 2 days ago maybe. We were talking about this. What would we do if FedEx stopped coming every evening to pick up our packages, if the United States Postal Service stopped coming to pick up hundreds of packages we ship out a day? What would we do? Well, what we would do is business as usual. We're not a shipping company, right? So we can't handle that. But if there's big quarantine, if this problem is so big that FedEx and the Postal Service are not working, then guess what? We're equal to Amazon. Amazon's got nothing on us. Nobody's got anything on us. If nobody's shipping, nobody's shipping. It doesn't mean we stop pushing, and we don't stop emailing our clients. We don't stop texting if you do SMS texting to your clients. We don't stop changing banners on our site and promoting products. We keep doing all of that. The way we've planned it this week in our business is that we said we will notify clients that their order's been received. We're going to start working on it, but nothing ships until the world gets back to normal because of the coronavirus. That's it. That's as simple as that. I know I make everything sound simple because that's the way I think. I'm not smart enough to complicate things, nor do I want to. So we will keep pushing really hard, selling, 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 and hey, we'll get to it when we get to it, but it's not our fault, and you don't even have to apologize. It's, hey, there's this thing going on, your order's in queue, and we'll get it out as soon as they come pick it up, the Postal Service or FedEx or whoever. Um, and after this, like I said earlier, I'm going to share some notes of some thoughts I have about the whole coronavirus thing. If you follow me on social media, you know I haven't mentioned one thing about it, and I don't know that I will, but I will say some thoughts here. Uh, let's see. Lindsay Lannon asked, in the Zoom session yesterday, Peter mentioned that when things like the coronavirus occur in the world, we should look to see how we can take advantage of any opportunity. For me personally, should I perceive that internally and work hard on my company values, logo, and unique selling proposition, or externally? Okay, I'm going to save that one because at the end, like I said, I want to mention some things. Here's my notes. Let's see what else. So I'm going to cover that in my notes. I love those questions. Let's see, Kimberly Vincent, I have an opportunity to begin collaborating. Oh, we already saw that. That got repeated. And I see a question from Tracy Andrews days ago asking what time zone, please? Eastern time zone. Okay, I think those are all the questions. So let me just double check that I didn't miss anything. Edward, Lindsay. Okay, I think that's it. So I'm going to share some thoughts with you guys. Hopefully you find some benefit to this. Hey, Rosalie, and hi, Manuela. Okay, so the coronavirus thing, there's negatives about it. That's fine. I'm not going to discuss those because I think those have been discussed to exhaustion. So something, for those who know me, know that I don't watch television. In fact, I haven't watched news, listened to news on the radio, read news, believe it or not, in maybe 5 years, 4 years, something like that. I also happen to be one of the happiest people you'll ever meet. Uh, Not watching the news has something to do with that. I don't know what's going on in the world. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. All of that is noise. I have some pretty principled things in my life that guide me, and I don't have to worry about what they say today and what they say tomorrow and what. Um, in fact, I spoke to a group recently on finances, and I shared how I don't listen to CNBC or these money programs that tell you how to invest your money. Because guess what? When you have a clear mind, which I do, I'll if I watch one of those for a minute, I go somewhere and I see that it's on. You hear what they're saying, and it's ridiculous. They're just jumping on emotion and what just happened today. The stock market's not about one day. It's not about 2 days. It's not about this year. It's a place to put your money for the next 50, 60 years. That's what it's about. So what does it matter that Jim Cramer on CNBC is yelling and rolling up his sleeves and saying, buy this, buy that? When I was very uneducated, I used to listen to people like that, and I lost a lot of money, and I learned my lesson. So here's some good things that I think are going to come out of Corona. Telemedicine. I'm big. I've had my like personal index and all these different types of tests done to find what my strengths are, and one of them is futurist. It's one of my top 5 skills. So I believe in the future, and I love looking at the future. And one of them is telemedicine. Telemedicine, I think, is amazing. If you have a cut on your finger, why do you have to drive to a doctor's office 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes away to go show him your cut so you can say, yep, that's a cut. Let's get you something. Let's get you this antibiotic so you don't get an infection or it's infected. I could have just done this and showed him my finger on the screen, and he could have sent that to my pharmacy, and my pharmacy could have delivered it. The technology is all there. So I think a lot of that is going to start getting accepted, and all because of this Corona thing. In fact, today, a friend of mine, a great entrepreneur, he wrote that telemedicine is going to destroy the doctors that don't participate in it. And he gave an example. He needed contact lenses, and his doctor wouldn't send him a new prescription because he hadn't seen the doctor in X amount of time. And he's an existing patient, client of that doctor, and he was not able to be helped. And he's told, no, you can't get an appointment now because of the Corona thing. We can't see you for a month. Well, he went on some website, immediately telemedicine, and in 7 minutes had his new prescription for contact lenses. That's amazing. That's what the future brings, and I think incidents like now, like the coronavirus, are going to help speed technology into the present. Another one is Zoom. So today I had scheduled a full day of meetings in person. So I have a lot of time on my hands. I retired before I was 40 years old, and so I get to do things that I want. I have all the meetings near me, so I can literally walk 2 miles from my house to an amazing place, coffee shop that I love, and have my meetings. And the meetings that I was gonna have 3 meetings there today in one place, and all the people were coming from far. Um, I had to cancel all of those because of the coronavirus, but it made me realize that that was kind of not useful time for them. Those people would have come out probably 30, 40, 20 minutes to come see me. That's a lot of drive time. We'd have to sit there. And guess what? Some of these meetings, or they were all scheduled for like an hour to an hour and 15 minutes. The calls that I took today all ended in 15 minutes, 17 minutes, 20 minutes. So how is it that we boom, 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 knocked all that out and had all this spare time? It's because, and there's nothing wrong with meeting in person. I think it's great, but we would just sit there and BS a little bit and talk about everything and extend. But when it's on the phone, it was more boom, 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 and we just made more time in the day. So I think meetings are kind of wasteful sometimes unless you're there to just make a final decision and the research has already been done. All right. So another thing, and I see Brad, I see your comment that I forgot yours. Did you ask a question that I failed to answer? I apologize. Let me look. I'm looking in this mentor session right here. And let's see if we see a Brad Coleman question in there. That's what I was told. That's where to look for them. Elise, Kimberly, Aiden. Let's see what else. Edward, Lindsay, Kimberly, Tracy. That's it. So Brad, if I didn't get to you, I didn't see it in there, but you can always contact me. Let's see. So a second thing. So I said telemedicine, Zoom, those type of technologies getting stronger. Another one is e-commerce. Whether you're in e-commerce or not, if you're not, try to find a way that your business can move toward e-commerce. The reason I'm not trying to say dump your business and get into something else. However, I have a lot of friends all my friends are entrepreneurs, and I hear a lot of conversations. And sadly, the ones who are not e-commerce, I'm seeing them lay off entire staffs. I have a friend who had to let go 20 people this week because business shut down completely, and it's not coming back for the foreseeable future until all this gets taken care of. That is scary. You know who's not going through that? Different people, obviously. If you're in the water bottle business or the toilet paper business, you might be doing fine. But you know who's not having trouble at all is e-commerce companies. I own 11 websites, and we sell on marketplaces as well, and business is just fine. And coaching clients of mine who are in e-commerce are also doing phenomenally well. Friends of mine, it's so consistent. If people are sitting at home, they're going to buy online, and it's not like it's the thing of the future. It's been around for 20 years. I've been selling online since 1999. I think was my first online sale. So for over 20 years now. So people are buying more and more online. So something to think about if you've been contemplating whether to take your products online, your services online, or do something somewhat related or completely different and diversifying and doing that. Here's a third thing. So I said the first one was telemedicine, Zoom, technology like that. Number 2, e-commerce is booming. Number 3 is family. So I'm home quite a bit because I'm mostly retired, and but it's nice. My wife and I have 4 kids, and they've been home. In fact, I had to go to Atlanta this weekend and pick up my oldest son, who's in boarding school, military school in Georgia, and I had to fly him down here to Miami. And now we all 6 of us, get to spend a lot of time together, and it's nice. We've spent the day, aside from a few phone calls that I had, we spent the day in the pool. In a little bit, we're going to go for a walk, and then we're going to do a little training video session. Our gym is closed for the next 2 weeks, so we're going to all do an online workout on the TV. Okay, number 4, and this goes to a question that may have been asked there in the group, and I held it off, is investment opportunities. I think this is the time that millionaires are made, or this is the time that multimillionaires or decamillionaires are made. It's not in the good times. In the good times, you're competing with everyone. The reason I'm saying this is, so I've acquired 10 competitors' businesses in the past. I never did that in the downs. I always did it throughout the last 7 years when the economy's all been great. But I've been waiting for these days. I'm not wishing it. I never want things to be bad, especially if people get sick. However, I have been waiting for the days for the economy to get slow because I'm looking for opportunities in the stock market. I 2 times last week bought $50,000 of stocks on the way down. So I made a purchase, kept going down. I made another purchase. So that was good. For the week, I bought 100 grand in stocks. I didn't hit the bottom. I didn't catch it at the bottom. I'm not trying to time the market perfectly, but if things are low, then that's a great opportunity. This is not a place to put your money if you need it out in a year or two because you're buying a house or buying a business or something like that. However, it is a place to put your money in the long run, and I normally invest on a regular routine, so it's X amount every 2 weeks or whatever it is, and I like timing it out over years that way. It's been proven to work very well, but it doesn't come every day. These huge stock market drops don't happen all the time, so opportunity to take advantage of it there. Now, competitors. I emailed all of my competitors. They all know me. I'm friendly with all of them. So I emailed them all about a week ago with my regular routine touch point that I do. I know I'm very different. Most people probably don't have a calendar invite reminding them to contact their competitors. I do. I've been doing this for years. It's why I've been able to acquire 10 of them, and the negotiation has been great because they're not negotiating with this enemy, this unknown guy far away. It's a competitor who's very friendly with them and who's been in touch for years, who sends them gifts, who texts them, who wishes them happy holidays and all these things. So last week I did, and I threw in the coronavirus in my email. Like I said earlier, you won't see me talking about this on social media or panicking or anything, but I will use certain words to trigger conversations whenever possible. So I did ask my competitors how they're doing with the whole corona thing. Now, the funny thing is they are online websites, so they're all doing fine. They're not hurting, so it's not where I want them. I want them hurting a little bit so I can buy them. So here is something, this may have been what was asked. If not, it may be on. I'll tell you what we're doing, what I'm doing in my business to take advantage of this situation. We don't know. I have an apparel company. We do third-party fulfillment, apparel. We're building software. So we do a few different things, but our main bread and butter, what drives in 7 figures for me personally, is apparel and through e-commerce. So we don't know if our factory will have to close down. We manufacture in Colombia in our factory, but we also don't know if fabric manufacturers are going to be able to supply us with fabric. There we were fortunate. Things just happen sometimes. If not, we would be hurrying up to catch up. But we were fortunate that at the beginning of the year, we thought the US dollar was going to get stronger against the Colombian peso. So we overbought fabric. And so we have a ton of fabric that we're sitting on because we figured we'd get it at a lower price than if we had waited. If we hadn't done that, then we'd be rushing now to buy a ton of fabric. But we have it. We have the fabric. So what we're doing right now is we are stockpiling our inventory. So we have 15,000 SKUs. That's a lot. 19 different brands. Not that 15,000 are active products. Most of those are discontinued. But we still have a lot of products and new products we keep developing and good sellers that we keep replenishing. So we have really taken our regular reorders every week and we've raised them. We have an algorithm that does all of our reorders, and we've really built that up. So we are now bringing in very large orders of products. This morning we got a shipment that landed here in the airport. We fly everything in. And every 2 weeks, we're going to be bringing in very large amounts to really bulk up our warehouse. That's the good thing of having cash on hand. We're not borrowing. We're not in debt. It's our own cash we've been saving for a while. We could buy a lot of inventory. And the thought there is, what if we do get, our factory has to shut down? What if imports get shut down? Then we're going to be in a very good situation with $4 or $5 million of inventory ready to roll. And covering us for quite a long time. But my hope on that is that my competitors didn't plan as well as I did. It's not that I'm wishing bad things on people, but hey, we're competing. We're not really friends. We're competitors. And if they didn't do it like I did it, they may be caught with a surprise. So if someone goes to my competitors' websites and they're looking for these types of products and they go there and there's no inventory, and then they start Googling and they find me and they find similar products, different brands, and they find our products and they see we're fully stocked, then we can capitalize on that. And what happens is, it's not just about the sales. I don't care about making money in the short term. It's about the position it puts. First of all, we gain new clients for the future, but it's the position that it puts that competitor of mine in, meaning they're going to be hurting. And if they're hurting, they may be a target to be acquired, and we can go in and make a fair offer and buy them out. So those are the types of things that I like planning on. And then, yeah, I mentioned it already, and someone had asked, and it was, what do you do if you can't ship out? If the Postal Service, if FedEx stops picking up, what are you going to do? Well, we're going to keep preparing orders, and we will ship out as soon as the the whole thing opens up. I'll look one more time, see if there's any more questions, and I don't think there are. Nope, I think that's it. Not very many of you joined on this call, but I know a lot of you watch it in replay, and I want to thank you for listening in. It's always my pleasure to talk to you guys. I wish these formats were a little more dialogue, so that we can dig in a little deeper and talk a little more. But that's what we got. So hope some of you got benefit out of this. And oh, and by the way, I didn't mention this, but I'll give you one more thought about the whole Corona thing. I told you I don't watch the news. I don't worry about what people are worrying about. But think about a year from now, how this is going to be. I'm hoping most of you are healthy and you'll be fine. But I've spoken to friends who are doctors about this, and they've said I mean, there could be other opinions. There's a million opinions. You choose the one you like. It makes you sleep better at night. But a doctor friend, most recently the one I spoke with, said that she expects to get Corona. She said probably 80% of the people are going to get it. That's not a problem. It's like a really bad cold, and I'm going to treat it as such. That doctor who I spoke to is a gynecologist who sees a lot of patients and will continue to see patients. And she wasn't too worried. You know, I've had the flu many times. I've had really bad colds, and I'm no doctor. I'm no expert. I just know that I try to worry about a problem when it hits, right? If I get sick, I'll worry about it and I'll take care of myself. I'll take care of myself beforehand, but I'm not going to go crazy. I'm not going to now have all this anxiety and this stress. And also remember, the news media is a business. People seem to think it's a branch of government almost. It's like the fourth branch of government almost, that they're there to help you. No, they're not. They are there to make money. And how do they make their money? By raising their ratings, right? The more eyeballs are watching them, the more money they make. Well, how do you get more people to watch your television show? Do you show puppies and cute babies and nice things? No. You show terror and panic, and what they're doing is tapping into our brain, our early brain, that that we are the result of many generations back, where people had to worry at all times that a tiger is going to get them or that they're going to be attacked, right? We have that in our brain, in our DNA. So that keeps you alert at all times. We have that problem about us. That's why so many people get depressed and they have anxiety and all these things, because that's what got us here. But a lion is not going to eat us. A tiger is not going to eat us. And I think the numbers are really high that if you get sick with Corona or something, you're probably going to be okay. Just take care of yourself. Don't be obese. Don't smoke. Exercise. Eat healthy. Do all the right things you're supposed to do, and don't do the bad things that you're not supposed to do. And your odds are pretty good. And then you can sleep at night and relax. All right, guys. Sorry, that's my rant. I hope I didn't bother you guys with that. And if you are storing up a lot of toilet paper, I'm not going to criticize you. Enjoy all that toilet paper. All right, guys. Have a good evening.